Hi, everyone. So my name's Nekei, and my story today is, after creating a lane. So in the retail industry, I started like when I was 16. I was super passionate and so ready to jump into the world. And I started a popular drugstore chain, and I worked my way up to um, in the cosmetics, photo shop, and all of these things. And little by little, I started learning, different parts of the store. And I realized, like, oh my God, this is something, like I'm passionate, I want to do. So by the time, like 2 years later, I was about 18 years old, and I was, just like, okay, what is the next step? Like, I think I know mostly everything there is to know almost in the store. So my store manager recommended that, you should apply for the, assistant manager program. I'm like, wow, I'm 18, but okay. So I did that. And when I did that, I really realized that, this was my like leadership role. I remember some of my colleagues or my employees, they would ask me to go on break. And, some of them were 50 or 60, and they're asking me, an 18-year-old, they're like, Miss Lewis, can I go on break? I'm like, absolutely. You could go on break. I was always a nice manager. So I really realized that, being and I learned every different part of the retail store. So I have a special passion, especially for the cosmetics department and working with different, what you call like, Mylars and different settings. Because like example, like when Revlon has a new product, someone has to put it out. So we are that person that, takes the product and sets it up. So I realized that through this, that I think that if I learned everything, I could really move up and maybe, have my own store one day. I was really excited about this because this is my first job. I've never had, a job before. And I was working, I had a lot of different types of people that were my employees and, in management, whether, they were all different colors, shapes, ages, sizes. So I had to learn really quick, how to adapt and work with all different types of people. And it came up where I could actually have, I used to go to different stores and actually set up the retail stores at like age 18 and spend hours upon hours working with different store managers, setting up departments, opening up new stores. Like if they asked me to do something, I was like, yes, me please, I'll do it. I'll put the overtime in. I'm doing 60, 70, whatever hours it takes. I'm doing it. So, there was one point in that career where there was another white guy who's about the same age as me. We kind of sounded around the same, and I realized that he was actually getting paid. We had a conversation on money, and I realized that he was actually getting paid like $3.50 more than me. So I was like, okay, but we're doing the same job. You're assistant manager, I'm assistant manager. We should kind of like be the same, like, because you kind of started out as cashier. So I didn't really quite understand. He was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just getting paid more than you. I was like, okay. I was like, well, no, maybe I need to try a different position or something. So that's why I was like, all right, well, they said, hey, there's another open position that we think that you would be great for. So my store manager really recommended that I applied. So I had recommendations from the store manager. I had several other stores here in Jersey that was like, what, she's amazing. She comes, she does everything she's supposed to do. She's worked with our employees in different stores. She sets up the store. She does overtime. I'm unpacking, truckloads of merchandise and putting it up and organizing the stores and making sure everything's clean. Like I'm doing everything. So I was then promoted to executive assistant manager now by 19. So now I'm like, $50,000 plus I'm 19 and I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm winning. This is really how it should be, right? So it's like, okay, so another job opened up and this was for district manager. Like I would basically be in charge of all the stores, working with all the assistant managers, working with everybody I'm kind of already working with. I was already working with 5 to 6 or 7 to 8, different stores. So I'm like, this is easy. I'll just get the recommendations. And I was like, you know what? I really want to ace this interview. So I said, let me go ahead and create. So I implemented this program into the beauty department, which will make it a lot easier for the employees to do their job, to service the clientele, and just to be, the best person that they needed to be at that time while, making sales. And then my sales in these departments were increasing. They were seeing, more revenue. So the stores are making money. I'm like, yeah, and I just implemented this program. So I'm super excited, right? So they're like, all right. So they're like, we got you an interview. I'm like, you did? Oh my God, this is great. This is great. I'm super excited, right? Ready, right? And then they're like, okay, so it's between you and one other girl. I'm like, who is this girl? Who is this? I mean, seriously, I thought I had this. Like, who am I competing against? So, it happened to be she came in with her, with her degree, and she was more of the corporate type. And, of course, it got into, I guess, where, she's a different color than me, right? So let's just say, so I was like, oh man, she's coming in, she's got her blonde hair and her fancy bags, and here I am, 19 years old. How am I going to compete with her? So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to try. I'm going to just, I think I got this. I got all recommendations. I'm working with the stores. I'm putting in the hours. I've worked from the bottom up. I know that I am supposed to just, this is me. This is it. And this job is going to pay me $100,000 a year. And I said, so excited. So I did the interview. I came outside and like, thank you, Miss Lewis. We really loved your ideas. They were really, really, intentional. You're very creative. You're super ambitious. The guy with the corporate suit. And I was like, okay, so did I get the job? Because they were going to tell us right there and stop. And like, unfortunately, we're going to have to go with the other candidate because, I think for this particular position, you need a little bit more time. And, imagine she hasn't worked in none of these stores. She hasn't done what I have done. She hasn't sweated and put all these bullets out there and like worked with everyone the way that I have, right? So I was like, so am I getting the job? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, it's going to go to her this time. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, all right. Oh my God. So I was super distraught, I really felt like, oh my goodness, like how could this happen to me? Like I thought I had this in the bag. It was in the bag. Like, who took my bag? I mean, seriously. I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, this is not, I don't know. I didn't even know where to begin because I was like, I thought this was how it's supposed to work. Like you work, you get promoted. You put in hours, you get promoted, you move up the ladder. I was like, and I was working with everybody. So I was really distraught. And I realized, you know what? I don't think that being in this retail business, and if this is how it is, like if that's what it is, I don't think I should do this. I really don't. So I started going back to, I was in college. So I started just kind of focusing more on that aspect and, seeing what I could do in the business world. And then I started creating like my own business. That's how I became an entrepreneur. And I started there and I said, you know what? At that point, I was like, I'm just going to go for my dreams, just forget everything. I'm just going to go in. And that's what I did. So, after things turn for you, you want to create that lane. You never want to let any disappointment be like, your distraction of what you're trying to do in life. You just want to make it so that you don't stop believing in your abilities and what you're capable of and just go after your dreams.